Hey Shade, how are you? Teleport cast and chainsaw. That sounds amazing. Bear with me a sec, folks. Just getting a little bit organized here. Tonight we're going to be doing a little bit of a wand building tutorial. Just the basics. What goes through my brain. Almost. I love you. Almost. How's everyone doing tonight? Friday. It's finally here. Good to see you all. Hope you're having a lovely day. Hate Dog, hello. Stormlock, Red the Reckless, Nathrakis, hello. Shade, always good to see you all. Nathrakis, Teddy, Theodore Nathrakis von Quibbington, recently went to the vet. That was yesterday. And we were a little bit worried because he wasn't eating. Turns out it's okay. Okay, apparently him eating or not eating is normal. It looks like he's got the beginnings of respiratory infection, but we've got injections and all kinds of stuff. So hopefully, I was super worried. Like yeah, I was losing it there a little bit, but looks like he's on the mend. Lily, good to see you as well. Kepaneri, hello. Lovely of you all to join this evening. Had a couple of nights off. We're producing a little bit YouTube content as always. YouTube is the game now. And it looks like Noita's had yet another, actually make that several updates in the last day or so. I was talking to one of the developers this morning, and he said, "Hey, real sorry, but since you released your new perk tier list video, I've added a bunch more. So you might as well jump over to the beta version, and it's no less stable," he says. It's just got a bunch of different stuff in it. Kepaneri found me from YouTube. Oh, way to go, man! Right on. Glad you could come over for a live stream. All right, folks, let's swing on over here. Won't keep you too long. Shiznid, I like your name, dude. So, before we jump onto today's update, let's go into yesterday's first. New enemy. I'll do my best to pronounce this. Turvatomusvistari. Turvato Musmistari. Turvato Musmistari. Kui Dutusmistari. Kui Dutusmistari. And finally, Turval Enoki. Easy. See? No piece of cake. Going to be checking out the 33 Orbron? Absolutely, dude. Yeah, it was a good one. I've still got the second episodes uploaded to YouTube. You can check out the VODs, of course, if if you didn't want to wait. That's totally fine. And then I'm rendering the third part probably tomorrow sometime. New perk, Pinpointer. New perk, Projectile Repulsion Sector. Projectile Eater, Projectile Slower, Low Recoil, Ball Lightning, Nola, Sauna, and a new work in progress area deep underground. That sounds kind of amazing. Updated some perk names and descriptions to better reflect their functionality. Perks description is displayed before you pick them up. That's the one he told me about. It's kind of that's kind of a big deal. So now it's a little bit more user friendly, even for people who haven't seen these new perks yet. It'll be good to sort of get to see them before you pick them up. Thank you very much, Netrunner, for the subscription. Welcome, my friend. Let's have a look. Tower reward wands no longer disappear at wrong times. We've had that happen. Removed firearm imagery from certain spell icons. Firearm imagery. Someone give me an example of that, and I'll check it out. Patsus enemies no longer need to breathe. I don't even know what a Patsus is. Curse of Greed is a tiny bit slower to advance. Oh, that's the special curse, right? I've taken that once. Music machines have more health so that they're harder to accidentally detonate. Didn't some perks have a gun in them? Damage modifier perks. Oh, really? Interesting. I mean, removing guns from the game certainly isn't a, I'm happy with that change. That's fine. Added copies of the music machines in certain locations to further mitigate the chance of them being lost. Sati Mistari shots cause player projectiles to be able to hurt the player. It's just a bunch of nice little tweaks. And keep in mind, it's been like 3 weeks since the game has launched, just over, almost 4 weeks. And, 1.0 has launched. And this is this is a second major update in that amount of time. So it's every 2 weeks they're dropping updates. Twitch integration, usernames are picked from messages instead of the whole viewer list. Amazing change. Votes can be cast while the game is paused. I don't know how I feel about that one. Votes can be changed while voting is in progress. Enable, disable all event buttons in options. Perk spawning. Stream events description is accurate to what it actually does. And then, as of today, more rebalancing stuff. Like, these guys are on it. I keep saying it. These guys care so much about the game, and it's very, very clear that is true. Scatter spells. Some icons got changed. Stormlock. It's probably something to do with maybe the game's rating, or wanting to get it past classification in certain regions. Gun imagery is kind of it's up there with the things that are no-nos. Yeah, it said spells, not perks, I think. Finally removed firearm imagery from certain spell icons. Yeah, I don't know. Unless the wiki's been updated already, but I doubt that very much. Anyway, happy with these changes. This is good. So, what are we doing this evening? Well, I'm going to walk some people through wand building. Just like what goes through my mind whenever I find a wand, maybe an introduction to the types of wands in the game, just basic stuff. But I get asked all the time, why do I choose certain wands? How do I know certain wands are, a certain way? So we're gonna start a new game here. Let's go fresh. Actually, let's make sure we got no mods turned on as well. Good. Art Wabeni, very kind of you to say thank you and welcome. It's not really guns, but a few pixels. Huh. Okay, fair. All right, folks. Welcome. If this is your first time to the channel, my name's McQueeb. I really enjoy this game. I've been playing it on and off for the last year. Have over 1,000 hours in the game. And I thought I would walk you through my thoughts on wands and wand building, what goes through my mind when I pick up a wand, what designates a wand better in certain ways than others. But I think it's probably best we start at the very top and talk about the types of wands that are in the game. The biggest differentiator between the two types of wands, one of them is called a no-shuffle wand, and the other is a shuffle wand. So in theory, it's pretty straightforward. A shuffle wand is essentially programmable. So in other words, whatever spells you put on it will be read from left to right, and it is much easier, almost guaranteed in fact, that you'll be able to create something special with spell modifiers, spell multipliers, trigger spells, etc. Shuffle spells, on the other hand, tend, in general, to have slightly better statistics, but they don't come with that programmable aspect. So think of it like a mathematical equation when I say that. Reading left to right, a wand will fire through its spell list, essentially, the number of spells or each of the spells that are on that wand, and then it will cycle through. A shuffle wand will do that in any order. That can be both a good and a bad thing, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. 9 times out of 10, though, you're going to want to go for ones that have the no-shuffle modifier. Alright, so that's my little introductory speech. Let's go and find a wand, and then we'll start talking about it. This is a pretty sweet run so far, actually. This is now the beta branch. That's a great treasure chest. This is dope. Baka Pixel, thank you very much for the Prime subscription. Welcome to the channel. You folks are really kind. Like, the support that I've been shown lately has just been, it's mind-blowing. So I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Alright, let's see if I can actually take this dude out first before I start. I'm going to have to drop this directly on top of him. Might be a bit difficult. Shame it's not a no-hit run, right? Just my luck. That's another thing we'll be doing again as well. I don't know if I mentioned this, but a few days ago I said that I was getting my hard drive back from my previous editor, and I did. Unfortunately, the videos only go back to February, so I've only got another. There's only another like 23 or so videos there. Bit unfortunate. I was hoping for going way back to the Minecraft days, but alas, that does not exist anymore. And then I realized that I think I wasn't even recording at that stage, so bit of a PIA. How do you save the game, and if you die, come back before you made a mistake? Do you need a mod? I don't know if there is a mod that would do that. The easiest thing to do if you die, Alt F4. Sorry, even better than that, go to your task manager and kill the application. That'll do it, all right. Yeah, exactly. Did we end up getting that chest, by the way? Where the hell was it? It couldn't have been too good a reward in there if... Over here? No. Oh, right on. Red beardy guy. A fellow red beardy guy. Good to see you. Yeah, absolutely. I won't spoil it for you. So I can't really say anything further than that, actually. Hello, WoW Superhero. How you doing? All right, so let's take a look at this first wand we come across here. I have a feeling this is one of my favorite ones in the game. Okay, so now we're looking at a shuffle wand. Actually, let's... Here we go, that's better. So the wand we have here is a shuffle wand, meaning, again, those spells are cast in any particular order throughout the wand before it cycles through, before it recharges. Now, there's a couple of things to look at here. So one is the type of wand, like I mentioned before. This one is a random order. We won't worry too much about the spells that are on this wand at the moment, because it's not really relevant and there's only one spell on there. But going through the stats, so spells per cast, this is kind of an important one perhaps later. You've got one spell per cast at the moment. And what that means is that essentially, if you think of it like a firearm, every time you pull the trigger, one spell is cast. So you can hold your finger on the mouse button or controller if that's your choice, and each time it cycles through firing, it will cast one spell at a time. Now imagine for a second that this wand had 5 of the same projectile in here, right? It's going to cast randomly, mind you, 1 from each socket in the wand, and then it's going to recharge. So I think I will show you the other wand we have over here as a good example of that. Now you've got cast delay, so that's the amount of time between each spell cast, and then you've got a recharge time, which is the amount of time it takes once all of the spells in the wand have been cast, it reloads and then starts again. The order is different every single time on a shuffle wand. So, for example, it could be 1, 3, 2, 4, 5, and then the next time it's 5, 3, 4, 1, 2. It could be any order at all in a shuffle wand. It actually kind of makes it really exciting, especially if you mix and match your spells on those types of wands. However, it's unreliable in terms of knowing what you're going to get, unless you've got all of the same type of spell on that wand. Next, you have the maximum amount of mana. In this particular wand is 250, and on the first floor, that's actually pretty decent. You won't find too many higher than this on the first floor. You've got a mana charge speed of 53, so that's 53 mana per second that you get back. So the maximum amount of mana that you have is your cast pool, right? So if you've got a 250 mana cast and a 53 recharge, and you're firing, let's say you're firing once a second, you know that you can cast one spell with 250 mana cost. That's probably a bad example. Let me rethink that for a second. So the maximum amount of mana that you have is the cast pool. So all of the spells cast come from that. You can essentially run out. Having a higher number there is better. It means that you can fire more spells for longer or stronger spells and not, potentially run out. Now, the recharge speed being 53, again, that's pretty high for the first level. This particular wand is one of my favorites on the first floor for that reason. Next, we have the capacity. Pretty self-explanatory. 5 slots on this particular wand. We'll get more into that later. That's not necessarily something that I look at as a main thing to look at early on. But later on, it definitely becomes more and more important. And then finally, we have the spread. So that's a 2 degree of spread. And that's added to every single projectile that comes out of the wand. So, for example, on a spark bolt, you have a spread of -1 degree, meaning it's a net positive of 1 degree. So it'll be slightly, not perfect in this particular wand, but not by much. 1 degree spread, 2 degree spread, that's very, very manageable. And what you lack in accuracy, you more than make up for in sheer quantity of shots with this particular wand because it's so fast. Can't stay long tonight. Actually busy at work. Definitely be watching this whole VOD at some point. Fantastic, dude. And Max Tea Kettle, good to see you as well. Yeah, so we're going to be picking that one up for sure. Don't worry, I'll edit all this together so it's a little bit more cohesive. You don't need to, don't pay too much attention at the moment, but this will be a great video, I think, once it's up and about. But I think if you've got any questions, definitely throw them in chat. I will definitely try to get to them when I can. All right. As of Noita 1.0, the wands that you start with have been randomized. So their stats have been randomized. Some of the spells on the wands have been randomized. And some of them are quite good, and some of them have been weakened somewhat. So it's all luck of the draw, really, how you get started. This particular wand is a no-shuffle wand. Relatively, I say relatively, it's decent, but it's relatively slow. The charge speed is 30, and the maximum amount of mana is 124. Is it that obvious, Teak? Yeah, absolutely. Global and local spread. Elias, that's an advanced lesson, my friend. This is for beginners only. All right, let's keep on keeping on. So the one that we just picked up has a torch on it. It is a passive spell. It does not fire. It simply exists. As it's a passive spell, it just sits in here like such, and it has 0 mana drain, which means it does not cost me anything to use. This is more of a utility item. You can set fire to things, which is quite exciting, but also quite dangerous as well. We won't be using that too much, but we are definitely going to be keeping the wand because it is just that good. It does do cool stuff with Burst of Air now, yeah. Speaking of... Please don't kill me. That's awesome, Crazy Bread. That's really good to hear. And Alias, I am doing fantastic, man. Having a great day. It's Friday. That's my favorite day of the week. Gigadiscs, Boomerang, Poison Arc, always cast nuke. Excessive, I think, is the word there. So the one that we have just found is kind of... it's an odd one. This one I don't really rate too highly. However, it is a no-shuffle one that you find on the first floor. So we've got a single cast again. So every time you press the mouse button, it's going to cast one spell from its available spells. In this case, it's only going to be one anyway. You've got a cast delay of 0.38, so it's much, much higher than the previous one that we found, but it's still relatively good. And here, interestingly, you've got a recharge time. So again, that's the time between cycles of wand spell casts for the whole stack to be expired is actually lower than the cast delay. This is quite rare. It's not often that you'll see this, but it does exist. Now, the one thing that worries me about this wand, two things actually. One is its maximum mana pool of 190. Still very usable, especially since probably the strongest spell you'll find in the first couple of levels is going to be something like Black Hole, which has 180 spell cost, which means you can cast one and then you have to wait approximately 3 to 4 seconds for that mana to be regained at that point. It has a 3 capacity. That's the other thing that worries me quite a lot. So it's very good in terms of it being a no-shuffle one found in the first floor. I have a feeling we'll be able to do better than that, though. I'm going to take it with... We'll see what the next one is. What happens when the last spell in the wand is used? Is it cast delay plus recharge time? It's both at the same time, whichever is longer. Oh, hell, I don't even think I'll get into chainsaws tonight, Alias. That's, like I said, that's pretty advanced stuff. I might just say, hey, for chainsaw information, go see Alias. So next we found the exact same wand again. You will find this from time to time. There's probably a pool of about, I'd say, a dozen wands that you'll find in the first floor. Now with some of them having altered stats a little bit, but you will definitely find the same one from time to time. Now, this particular spell, Slime Ball, I'm not that interested in right now. I think I'd rather keep the Burst of Air just because that might give us a little bit more to play with as we progress. But it's good to know it's here. We can always come back and get it. Do we need more than 1 or 2 no-shuffle wands this early? No, not really. Especially when we have this guy right here, which is probably going to end up being my primary casting wand. But I think we'll just leave this right here. Maybe an enemy can come along and pick it up. Damn spiders. Spiders that look like frogs. It's a Halloween outfit. There's a new video that came out today, Noita of the Week. It's very funny. Weito does take a couple of deaths in that. Single spell after a triple spread mod? What does the triple spread mod do in that case? Oh, good question. Why would I have done that? It was just that? Sounds like a mistake. Unless there were chainsaws involved, that's the only reason I'd use a triple on a single spell. Good old wee woo. Yeah. Alright, let's see if we can actually find more wands here. I'm going to have to go up and around. I'm out of bombs, interestingly enough. What the hell just happened there? Didn't I fix this? That's weird. How long's it been doing that for? 100% I fixed it. That's weird. Oh, Camlink cut out for a bit. Right on. Oh, I'd love to find a heal. Not that that's really a thing. Oh, we have some ambrosia. By all means. Yeah. I don't mind you posting links. That's totally fine. I think I've actually seen that video as well. I couldn't agree more, Tea Kettle. Yep, 100%. Best community on Twitch that I've been a part of by far. Alright, we're going around the long way. How about recipes? Ordinary, how are you? When you say recipes, what do you mean? Am I blocked off from that side of the... Yeah, I mean, maybe. Stranger things have happened. So that's one of the things I like most about this game, right? Everybody's like, it's all about the graphics, it's the pixel art, it's the in-engine, you know, destructible environments, and everything's calculated on the fly, and blah, blah, blah. For me, it's the wand building mechanics. I'm not super good at it, but that's what hooked me from the moment I started playing. Well, the moment I realized that it was a thing. That's it, huh? Alright, we can get out of here. Fine by me. Alright, so I'm going to fill up some stuff here. I'm going to pour out this mud. How much dollars do you leave the first floor with? I would say aim for around about 600. If you can. It's not always possible. As much as possible, as much as your health will permit. Your health pool should be the an indicator of when to leave, in my opinion. Hey Ryan, what's up, man? Good to see you. Pouring out good whiskey. Yeah. Noita is well and truly on the wagon. Alright, so we can take a look at these. Some good stuff there. And... that might... Couple of one modifiers there. Well, we'll go through these first. Alright, welcome to our first wand shop. You can have a choice sometimes... Well, it's not really a choice, is it? Sometimes these shops can be spell shops, which are quite limiting, especially if the spells aren't great, but if you're lucky, you'll find a wand shop. The great thing about wand shops is that not only can you potentially get a new host wand for something special that you want to build. But more importantly, you can get the spells on the wand as well, usually included in the price. So let's take a look at those. All right, our first wand available at the moment is a no shuffle wand. So again, no shuffle wands are going to be sought after greatly, but probably towards mid game more so than early on, in my opinion. It all depends on your playstyle and what you're opting for. But I think that you'd be better suited by some of the better attributes of a shuffle wand ahead of time. So this particular wand has 2 capacity, as you can see down here. It does come with Triplicate Bolt, which is kind of a nice spell. Very, very powerful. And given that it shoots 3 projectiles per shot, you can actually get a lot of value out of that, especially with a couple of modifiers later on in the game. This particular wand is 2 spells per cast. So, essentially, whatever spells you have in here, it will cast both of them simultaneously. Is that a good thing? Can be. It all depends on, again, what you're looking at. Now, let's look at the stats directly. We did mention it's a no shuffle wand, which means we can program this, which, let's be real, with 2 slots, we're not going to be doing much with that. The cast delay is 0.1. That's quite good, quite fast. The recharge time, now this is the biggest cause for concern right here. At 1 second recharge, that's 1 second between each shot. Now, because it's casting both of those slots simultaneously, there is no second shot, no follow-up. It's not like bang, 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 bang. It's 2 together, then you wait a second. Then it's 2 together, and then you wait a second. So on that side of things, this one's a little bit too slow. It's the most expensive wand in here. I don't know why. But yeah, this is one I would probably avoid. We've got a maximum mana pool of 210, reasonable for the first floor, and a recharge speed of 54. These are pretty average. This is something that most of these are probably going to have. Moving on. So here we have an 8 capacity wand with an always cast. This particular always cast is a double scatter spell. We've got a cast delay of 0.18 and a recharge time of 0.62 of a second. Maximum mana 220 and a charge speed of 46. Keep in mind that it's going to be casting 2 spells per shot, and it's going to randomize the order of the spells on this wand. It comes with 1 light and a rock. Now, this is kind of an interesting one. Alias, correct me how this works. 2 spells per cast and double scatter spell. Is that guaranteed 4 projectiles per shot? Steven's first one, sentimental. Dude, he just looks after the place. He doesn't actually do the selling. He definitely doesn't set the prices. It should cast 3 shots per click. Right, so this is only going to be going off once. Understood. Right. Okay. I wonder which one goes first. This one? Is it going to go... Oh, maybe this is included. So it's going to go bang, bang, and then the second spell. I would imagine that's how it would work. And that's if it was no shuffle. Always cast multicast are extremely jank. And get even crazy. Oh, dude, I've had ones that I've been unable to use because I just couldn't work out how to get around this. All right. So looking at the spread, you'll probably notice that that's quite a large number. 28 degrees of spread is very, very high. Probably takes it out of contention straight away, just because it's way too inaccurate. It's not really usable. When you're trying to put a lot of shots down range, having that kind of spread is a bad thing, unless you've got something like homing or, you know, another modifier that might remove that. Arrows would be a really good spell to put on here, just because it removes 20 degrees of spread per shot. Now, looking at the spells per cast, as well as a double scatter spell, I've got it on good authority that this should cast 3 spells per mouse click. So, what it does, it goes 2 spells per cast, and it's always going to cast this. So the first spell, quote unquote, will include this one and should fire both of these, and then the second spell would fire one of these. Now keep in mind, this is a shuffle wand, so you're going to be kind of all over the place here. Definitely give this one a miss. It's on special. It's $190. Not worth it, in my opinion. It feels like there's perpetually more to work out. Oh, dude, you have no idea. Like, just when you think you've got it, you've nailed it, there's an update, or a new spell, or a new type of wand, or whatever. They just keep mixing it up. Is spread a total arc of 28 degrees, or is it 28 degrees either side of 0? Total. It's total. And even if you have spread reducers, it brings it back to 0. You don't go into negatives and then, you know, head the opposite way. You feel like the spread is a max and sometimes it's lower? Yes, you're right. Yep, it's up to. Hey, Ken, how you doing, man? Great stream today, by the way. Had a good time. Well. Yeah, still no. Okay. Next, we have a no shuffle wand. Again, that's a positive. 1 spell per cast. Keep it simple. It is quite fast, 0.08 of a second cast delay, and a recharge time of 0.7, so that's 0.7 seconds between cycles on the wand. Maximum mana of 480, that's higher than the average. Unfortunately, the recharge speed of that mana is 10 per second, which is very, very low. So for a small amount of time, you'll be able to fire at a reasonable rate. Unfortunately, the recharge time of the mana kind of takes this one as well out of contention. These are quite average ones, really. 2 capacity maximum and a spread -1. Now, the fact that I'm actually considering this wand is that it does come with Black Hole, an exceptional spell, and at $240, it's not bad. It's not bad. We may end up coming back to this one. Hey, this one's actually pretty good. So here we have another wand with an always cast effect. This particular always cast is Fire Trail. Fire Trail, for those that haven't used it before, every projectile that leaves that wand is going to have a flammable trail behind it, which is a good and a bad thing depending on your point of view. Enemies that are set on fire are more focused on putting themselves out than retaliating, so it can make you actually less likely to be attacked. Unfortunately, if you don't have fire immunity, you will probably end up getting set on fire yourself. So this is a no shuffle wand again, so we're looking at a left to right situation here. Half a second approximately cast delay, so that's the amount of time between each cast. And then a recharge time of 0.58, slightly higher. You're probably not even going to notice the difference between these two times. So I'll sort of give you a little bit of an example on that as we go on. Maximum mana. So this is the lowest that we've seen on any one that we've purchased thus far. It's enough to cast Black Hole, which is kind of the benchmark in my opinion, but Fortunately, we don't necessarily need a lot of... we don't need a wand that has a high mana pool just yet. It is an important factor and probably one of the most important factors when it comes to my choosing of wands. So this one's still in line. We might end up purchasing this one. The mana charge speed, close to 50. Again, pretty reasonable. 10 capacity this early on, especially on a no-shuffle wand. That's pretty special right there. And a 4 degree of spread, which fairly negligible. Not too bad, not too good. Hey, Suffer, what's up, man? Hippo. Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for coming to a live stream. Good to have you here. This one comes with TNT, which is one of my favorite early explosives. It's quite versatile. You can shoot upwards and actually, you know, if you need to, dig up into an area that you might not have otherwise had access to. This wand is pretty good, and at $110, this is excellent value. If I was wand shopping in real life and I saw this one, I would certainly put down a credit card. So let's keep that one in mind. It might actually be really useful to demonstrate some of the things that we've been talking about as well. The maximum mana does concern me a little bit, because if we want to take advantage of all of this capacity and not just have simply the same projectiles in there or multiple different types of projectiles and actually start to work out how to get the most out of this wand, that maximum mana is a little bit concerning. So that's the only thing that's kind of bugging me right now. Cast a trigger spell, then a big charge speed. Yeah, Mac, I would say early on I focus on cast speed. And then later in the game, I switch to a much slower, heavier hitting wand for sure. And then finally, for $160, we have a no shuffle 2 capacity wand, 570 maximum mana. Now we're looking at some big numbers here. It's a reasonable speed. Honestly, anything less than or close to half a second on either of these is viable. And then obviously cast delay, you'd want that as low as possible. Unfortunately, we've got a 10 mana charge speed here. Again, so that's 10 per second. So if I use up this 570, which at the moment isn't even possible with 2 capacity, but if I did, I would have to wait such a long time for that to come back. 57 seconds to be exact. So this one I think will also give a miss. All right. So one of the first things you should do whenever you're modifying wands is remove all of the spells so that you can start fresh. You can do this by double clicking. This is a question I get quite a lot. How do you remove the spells so quickly? Yep, double click each one and it'll go straight into your hotbar at the top of the screen. This is your inventory of spells, and then we can start looking at what we've got. Now I did mention this particular wand right here is super fast. It's one of my favorites on the first floor, and it just so happens that we have 3 spark bolt projectiles. So looking at this wand, we're gonna add each of those to the wand body like so, and thanks to a special new tool built into 1.0, this panel in the background, you'll be able to see what the wand is actually doing when we shoot it. So that's it. You get a shot every 0.03 seconds, and then the wand recharges, and that's that small downtime between cycles. So even with that 0.42 second recharge or reload time, it's more than capable of putting plenty of firepower downrange, and super cheap. Very, very simple. One thing as well to look out for is the spells themselves. So some of these, like Sparkbolt for example, will add a cast delay. So that's 0.05 between... Actually, before I continue that sentence, Alias, does that mean that each spell is now 0.08? Or is it 0.05 because it's the greater of the two numbers there? No first floor Omega Centaur. Yeah, that was that was something else. Yeah, unfortunately I can't even work out in my head how quick 0.08 of a second is versus 0.05. On a per spell block basis. So in this case, we've got 3 spell blocks. Okay. So it's 0.08 for Spark Bolt. Ah, and that would explain why Bouncing Projectile is so much faster. Because it's 0, essentially, right? Got it. So one other thing to pay attention to is what spells you currently have in your wand. Some spells increase cast delay, like Spark Bolt, for example. It increases the cast delay by 0.05 of a second. So this is calculated every time the wand fires, and it takes 0.05 and it adds it to the wand's 0.03. So in actual fact, we're looking at a 0.08 second delay between each shot, which is still super fast. And then the reload or recharge of 0.42 of a second. So I think this is one of my favorite spells. If you find this one on the first floor and it's got all of the same types of spells in it, whether it's Spark Bolt, Bouncing Projectile, Magic Arrow, any of the above, they're super good, super efficient wand. And you'll notice that because each shot only costs 5 mana, we're actually recharging that mana quicker than we can spend it. So you'll notice the blue bar at the top right of the screen. It's not depleting. It goes down a little bit, but then is immediately recharged. And you can see the reload there as well in the orange. Are there any mods that randomize spell stats? Good question, actually. I don't think I've seen any. Correct, it's negative. Good accuracy too. Yeah, 100%. That's, I mean, 0.02 of a spread is nothing. And in fact, it's 0.1 with that. It's amazing. It's awesome. Spark Bolt's very underrated, I think. So do we actually want to buy any of these? I'd be tempted to get that one. Might make for some good example here. We do have a no shuffle here. I've also got the no shuffle perk waiting for us, but I think I'll skip that. Yeah, I'll buy this. All right. Let's get... Actually, this might be... Where's my bomb wand? Let's check that out. See what we can come up with this. 0.05, 0.07. Always cast fire trail seems dangerous. I mean, being set on fire certainly isn't a fun thing to do, right? Let's test this as well. Oh, look at that. Always cast 1 off. It even says it there in the text. A random always cast spell is added to the wand in your hand up to a maximum of 4. Damn. I mean, homing's amazing, don't get me wrong, but it's not exactly useful at the moment. every veteran you've talked to always calls Sparkbolt with Trigger the single best spell in the game. I thought I was actually alone in that opinion, Aliasbot. I mean, I know you like it, but most people I watch, they love it and they use it in all of their wand builds, but it's never like a must-have. I think it is 100%. Oh, look at that as well. In your inventory screen now, this stays on. The text always cast one off. Is that new? I don't know. Put Sparkbolt on the last wand. So Fupi, let's record this since it's a very common thing I hear people say. Even with homing, you can disregard that for the moment. You won't often have 3 to begin with either. That's pretty rare. So one thing that I hear a lot of people saying, and this was true pre 1.0 to a degree, is that people like to move a projectile from the starting primary wand to the bomb wand because of its increased speed. We can definitely do that, but it comes with a pretty heavy cost. Is it faster? Yes. But it will eventually run out of mana. And that's the biggest problem. Because you're going to be in a situation where you're, shooting, trying to take out enemies that are advancing on you. And when this does eventually run out of mana, you're going to have moments when you cannot retaliate. That is a massive problem. My opinion, keep this in this wand, just like it is, regardless of the starting stats. Because even though it's slower, it's never going to run out of mana, and you can always, always, always retaliate. You do not want to be in a position where you're left wondering what will happen if you do run out of mana. It never feels bad when you test the wand in the Holy Mountain. 100%. Yeah. It's weird. So in Noita 1.0, the stats on these wands have been some of them have been increased. Like this is 16 charge speed, where it used to be 10. But now you can also it can also go the other way as well. I've seen one with 5, I think is the lowest, which is just awful, awful. Higher DPS over time. Well, I wouldn't even say that, because this one's firing pretty quickly and it recharges quite quickly as well. It's those moments though. It's those, if you run out in the worst time and you just gonna, the run's over. Like you've seen one with 1. Jesus Christ, that's terrible. Welcome to floor 2. This floor is quite good. If you have a digging wand, you're able to farm the level for a little bit of extra gold, because there's chunks of gold in the ground. We won't necessarily be doing that, despite having tons of explosive projectiles. But instead, we're going to visit the fungal caverns. All right, now we're starting to see some numbers comparable with sort of early mid game wands. So we have a 320 mana maximum and a 98 mana charge speed. This is essentially double thereabouts most of what we've already seen before. It's pretty good speed, so 0.15 second on the cast delay, and a recharge speed of half a second. This is quite a good wand. Unfortunately, it's only a 2 capacity, So there's not much we can do about that. But we can actually do something here with some modifiers or something to take advantage of this wand. It's probably one that I won't leave the floor with, but it's still worth picking up. And remember, any wand that you've picked up yourself is one that an enemy cannot. It's better they pick up an empty wand and they can't do anything with it, instead of, you know, giving them the tools to destroy you. Alright, this is the wand we bought in the previous shop. So we're going to use the TNT, and there we go. Set myself on fire already. Almost guaranteed with this wand. How do I feel about that? It's kind of amazing. A good nuke wand. This particular wand is kind of unusual and a new entry since Noita 1.0 was released. The cast delay, again, quite fast. The recharge time, reasonable. The maximum mana in this case is 113. Which isn't a huge number. The recharge speed is over 4 times what the maximum mana is. So whatever projectile on here that you cast, it's going to catch up very, very quickly, but you're very limited in terms of what it can do because of this maximum mana pool. No, it doesn't quite cut it. If this was slightly higher, I'd definitely consider it. But in the meantime, I think I'm just going to leave it here. It's in an area where not many enemies are going to come, and if they do, they're probably not going to be able to pick it up because they don't have hands. Loot or Die, how are you, dude? Good to see you, man. Who thought lava for blood was a good idea? I want that person's name. Wish you could take wands and put them on their anvil in Hisi base and extract the always cast from them. I've thought about that and things like that, right? Like either selling or, you know, recuperating funds or spells from wands, but the wands get destroyed in the process. It's been brought up many, many times before. It would add a whole new layer to the game, I think. But again, balancing is one of the hardest things to do in this game, I think. You don't want... Like, yes, it's a hard game, but you don't want certain metas to become stupid powerful because you want to sort of encourage different styles of play. I think they've got it pretty right now. I mean, even if you look at the current wand builds, I used to swear by homing mists, right? Most people did. It's just average now. It's not even that great anymore, which is... I think that's hilarious. Oh, we're on fire again. So I'm heading over to the left because in the western area of this stage is the fungal caverns. The fungal caverns are not quite as overpowered, or the ones that you find there aren't as overpowered as they once were, especially since most wands scale quite well now. Each floor that you progress, you'll find stronger and stronger wands. There's not one specific area now that is stand out. I mean, jungle aside, jungle is still quite a jump. So over here, we've got a wand pedestal with no wand on it. Generally a bad sign. That means somebody's come along and picked it up. Can be quite scary, especially if there's a very, very powerful spell on there. I guess we just won't know until we see it, unfortunately. All right. Next, we find a fairly common shaped wand. You'll see this a lot. Every time you see it, it is you know that it is a shuffle wand, unless of course you have the no shuffle perk. One other identifying factor there, or feature, is the fact that it doesn't contain a gemstone somewhere in the middle. So you'll notice that this wand right here has a gemstone right there. This one right here, kind of. And then, of course, our starting wand. No. That used to be a no shuffle, right? I guess it doesn't matter. Anyway. And this one here with a gemstone right there, signifying that it is a no shuffle wand. This one you'll see quite often. It's pretty good. I think it's often worth going to get, despite it being a shuffle wand. It has one spell per cast, good cast delay, reasonable recharge time, maximum mana pool of 340, outstanding for this level, and then a charge speed of 104, 8 capacity, and a -5 on the spread. So this is quite good. It is much slower shooting than the current one that we're using as our primary, but it's capable of shooting a lot more because of both of these numbers right here. This one also happens to come with a double scatter spell. It's not a bad spell multiplier or modifier. Electric charge, be very cautious with this one, and a small teleport bolt, which is one of the new spells in the game. I think we're going to take this one just to see what we can actually do with it. The double scatter spell is quite intriguing, and I'm happy to have that. So I'm gonna replace our bomb wand with an always cast of homing on it. I'm gonna get rid of that. We don't necessarily need it. Yeah, when I found out about, I mean, I still don't understand chainsaws. I get the basic concept, and I get the basic recipes, right? But there's a whole science to that, and that's why I keep recommending Alias to most viewers of the channel, because that dude knows exactly what he's talking about. Oh, I'm in trouble. I'm in big trouble right now. Can I get back? How's my memory? Yeah. Maybe time to leave. Homing always cast is so strong. Right, but we're still limited by the wand itself. It's a single shot. Sorry, a single slot, a single capacity wand. And it's very, very limited in terms of what it can shoot, so it's fine. We don't need it. If there was a projectile on that always cast, yeah, we'd be keeping it for sure, but not so much. All right, time to leave. Unfortunately, I didn't really want to have to get out of here, but I do. Spell shop, interesting. Oh, this is cool. Dude, absolutely. No, it's good to have you here. That's the kind of science that I need help with. We've got oil, personal gravity field. Oh, this is some good stuff here. I think I'm going to take ping pong path though. All right, so here we have a few spell modifiers and spells. I'm going to take ping pong path. It's kind of a fun one to use. I'm also going to take oil. We'll get onto that a little bit later. And maybe gunpowder arc, just to show you how arcs work in this game. All right, and we do have a splitter. Cool. So, like before, I'm going to strip all of the spells out of the wands. We don't need some of these. Throw them in the water. Maybe the fish will eat it. Alright, so far we have our very fast shooting primary wand. That may change now, depending on what we can come up with here. The reason I chose the spell modifiers that I did might give us a good example as to how things work in this game. So, let's look at our no shuffle wand here with 10 capacity. Again, it's not the fastest shooting one available, but it's definitely one that we can use to demonstrate a few things here. So just to give you an idea of the speed of this wand, you can see what's going on the wall behind me. So every single shot that I'm putting out has the fire trail on it. You can see that both visually as well as confirmation there on the wall. And it's pretty slow, right? That's fine. We can do some other stuff here. So ping pong path, as I mentioned, is one of the fun modifiers in the game. Remember this spell, remember this wand is going to cast from left to right. Now it doesn't matter about spaces in there. If I put this over here, this here, it's going to behave exactly the same. So how I expect this to work, given that every shot's going to have an always cast fire trail on it, is a single spark bolt will come out with fire trail. The second one, the second shot, which is this one here, will be modified. So this projectile modifier right here will get picked up by that second spell, and then the third spell, and then it will wrap around and repeat. So here we go. And that is exactly happening. So you might be asking, well, okay, that's fine, but how do I get that modifier to do more for us, right? Good question. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to keep this where it was, right here. And I'm going to use this double scatter spell right here. So now, this here essentially combines both of these spells together in the same shot. And the modifier will get added to both of them simultaneously. Let's take a look at that now. So every second shot now is getting that that modifier added. The easiest way to make this even stronger is to remove this. So now we've got one shot that this wand is casting. Remember, the recharge time is very, very close to the cast delay, so the time between each shot is so close, almost indistinguishable from the recharge speed on the wand altogether. Smerlin, thank you very much for the subscription. Welcome to the channel. So we're going to try this one now as well. So now we've got a shot that zigzags. It's got a fire trail thanks to the wand itself. And every single shot is putting out 2 projectiles. I'm not the biggest fan of ping pong paths, so we're going to take that off. And instead, we're going to use one of our arc modifiers. So this is gunpowder arc. It says it requires 2 projectile spells, and they have to be cast simultaneously. So either the wand itself has more than 1 projectile cast per shot, spells per cast, or you use something like a double scatter spell, or a double spell, or a multi-cast, whatever you like. As long as there's more than 1 projectile coming out per shot, you can do some magic with that. Sorry to all the fish there. Ping pong with lightsaber can be amazing. Oh, I know. I haven't used that in a long time, but I completely agree. Now, both Fire Trail and Gunpowder Arc are hazardous to our health. Actually, most of the modifiers that we have are exactly that. One passive attribute of a Spark Bolt is that every shot gets a critical chance of 5%. It's a critical chance increase of 5%. Now, because we're casting 2 simultaneously, we actually get a 10% to crit for both of these together. It stacks, which is kind of amazing. And here we can see the disadvantage as well of the scatter spell modifier. It's actually capable of splitting those spells a little bit too far, in my opinion, and can potentially you can potentially miss shots with that. So how do I want to progress here? I think we're actually going to keep, as boring as this sounds, I think we're going to keep the old Spark Bolt setup up here. Now, interestingly, what you can do here as well is add the double scatter spell. It's going to happen every once in a while, but the benefit of this is that you can, again, put more shots out at probably not too much of an increase cost of mana here. So the spread isn't too bad. I think I can, mostly hit enemies that are approaching. So I think I'll stick with this. This seems pretty good. And yeah, let's bring our TNT back. We're going to put it on this one down here. We could definitely put a multi on here as well. But the problem with having a multi, especially with explosives, is that you may not want it to activate when it does. Torch with airburst. No, I haven't. Oh, I'm saving that one, Alias. Yeah, we're going to get to that. Let's try that, actually. Torch. Airburst. All the way around. Oh, interesting. Okay, so because the flame from Torch is it's sort of directed upwards. If you're shooting straight ahead, it doesn't work very well. However, as soon as that air gets, it catches the fire, that's pretty cool. I dig that. Oh, it's the shape of the wand. That's interesting. Maybe while walking backwards. Alright. We're going to head into one of the most dangerous levels in the game. Change my mind. So heading into the third level in the game with this projectile, we're going to start to see a decrease in usefulness now because enemies are going to start to have a lot more health. So as much as I like Spark Bolt, it doesn't scale too well unless you have some decent damage multipliers. We have to be a little bit careful of that guy. Pour some water in here. See if we can get this going. Why am I do this? Thank you very much for the subscription. Welcome to the channel. Wand order on the hotbar. Yeah, I can do that. Absolutely. We'll probably be doing multiple runs. So curious about different philosophies between myself and Let's Suffer Together. I was about to bring up the controller. Yeah, that's most likely why he does it. He has it set up that way. But I've seen other players do that as well. They'll have their wands set in reverse order, and I don't know. I guess it's what you get used to, right? Much appreciated. Why am I do this? I dig that name. I don't know why. Yeah, Calorian degrees. That's cool. Did I see it's somebody's birthday as well? Beast Hunter. Turned 18 yesterday. Congrats, dude. Happy birthday. Okay, so we've got some Spark Bolts incoming. That means an enemy currently is carrying a Spark Bolt wand. Iterin says you don't like using teleport to exit so you can go back and edit wands. Here's the thing with that. I'm not very good at doing that. Teleport's quite difficult because you still have to hit the apex. And I'll end up screwing it up. Hey Dorian, how you doing? I couldn't imagine being 18 again. All I wanted to do when I was 18 was just rush through that part of my life. Where the hell did that one go? He must have dipped down below, I think. Yo, why am I do this? Thank you so much. 5 gifted subs. You kidding? That's epic, man. Thank you. I didn't even check this one out, did I? Nope. Who has that? Gotcha. That's a pretty decent wand. So here we have the same shape, same design as the previous one we picked up before. By mousing over a wand, you can see which stats are better and which ones are worse. So this particular one has 0 degrees of spread versus the -5 on the one that we had before. This one's recharge time is actually significantly faster and only a little bit more max mana. I'm interested in having more Spark Bolts and another multicast, so we're definitely going to take it. And this one isn't serving us much good right now, so we're just going to replace that and pick up as we go. Dude, I create this stuff for free, and trust me, YouTube ad rev and you know all that stuff is more than payment. I mean, having you guys just show up and hang out with me of a nighttime is that's all I need out of this. Everything else is a bonus. So I really appreciate having you guys here. I said this before. I think I typed this on Twitter, but I get just as much, if not more, out of this than you guys do. And I'm not even talking about the financial, you know, gains or whatever. It's not about that. Streaming has helped me so much, both in my personal life and like socially, and to get over my anxiety, and it's a cool thing, man. I dig it. I dig it a lot. Oh, we still didn't check out the wand in the metal box. You're absolutely right. Thank you. Be super careful. I don't need to say that, do I? Electricity's a bad thing. All right. So here we have a wand that is 4 spells per cast, and it's a 4 capacity. So whatever spells you have in here, or modifiers and spells, will all get cast simultaneously from this wand. You've got very good cast delay, recharge time of over a second, so we're starting to head into the territory where it's a little bit too slow for my liking. But on the plus side, almost 400 maximum mana pool, and almost 100 on the recharge speed. It's pretty good. I don't mind it at all. I'm certainly not going to use it until we can modify it, because personal fireball thrower is kind of terrifying, and lightning bolt is also very scary to use. Very devastating spell though. It does a hell of a lot of damage. So we're going to take that as well. And now we come up to the part of the show where I'm going to give you a lesson in wand choices. If possible, always leave some blank space so that you can pick up some stuff, right? Let's say these were all super, super amazing, and I'm using them all. One of them's a utility wand, one of them's a digging wand, one of them's a primary shooter, and I don't know, let's go black hole as well. Whatever, right? It's stuff that I really like, and I'm using them all simultaneously. That's a bad thing, because if you come across a wand that you really want to pick up, now you have to start making those decisions where, well, oh, I don't really need black hole, and I kind of want that other spell. Do I need it? Well, and that's the kind of decisions that you don't want to be faced with. You want to maximize your productivity as you're progressing through the levels, and it also saves backtracking and or waiting until you have a chance to modify wands, and then, you know, go from there. Same goes for your spell hotbar. Make sure that this is not full. Try to leave 2 to 3 spots available, so that on the off chance that you find a mid-run shop or a chest with spells in it, and they're really cool spells, you don't want to be stuck not being able to pick those up. It is super, super important. Bear with me a sec. Agulithan. You're welcome. Thanks for coming. Good to have you here. I apologize if I butchered your name. Probably did. How do I handle simps, though? They have to get in line behind Mrs. McQueeb. And Red 13, hello, welcome. Yes, yeah, this will go up on the main channel probably. I'm gonna request. It's gonna require a lot of editing, but eventually it'll get up there. Hey, Billy One Kirby, we are blessed with some greatness today. What's up, Billy? How you doing, man? Good to see you playing Noita. Billy is a fantastic FTL streamer. I thought I was following him for ages and ages. Apparently, Twitch decided to unfollow me. At first, I didn't believe that was a thing, but then my wife unfollowed me. So maybe... Well, maybe that was intentional. Who knows? Doing real well, man. Having a great night. We're putting together a little bit of YouTube content tonight, so I'm trying to find as many ones as I can, just to give sort of a glimpse into what goes through my mind when we find them. Here we have another really, really tiny wand. You'll start to notice a trend with the design of the wands as well. The smaller the capacity, the smaller the wand. So this is a little baby one. You've got some mid-sized ones here, and this is a slightly lower than mid-sized wand here. This one actually has tremendous stats. 0.17 cast delay, 0.25 recharge time. This is kind of amazing. The amount of mana and mana charge speed that it has is really good as well. I just don't think we're in a position to ditch our wands presently. The only thing that could change my mind here is if we could get a really good modifier to go along with a spark bolt or a lightning bolt here as well. The egg, I think it's a bit of a meme weapon. This is one of those ones that cast too much. It can bring your CPU down to a crawl. Do I want this or not? Let's take it. I kind of wanted to keep... Well, let me think. This is what I was talking about. Sometimes you have to make those decisions. No, I don't think it's worth taking. Just because the wand will get something better than that as we progress. And the spell we can do without. So we're just going to leave it here. Totally fine. Moving on. Oh, hello fellas. Ow. Always carry a tablet, folks. So as you can see, the spark bolt is starting to be a lot less effective now. Because the health on these guys is getting up there. Slowly getting up there, but it is getting up there nonetheless. Those surprise crits you get from Spark Bolt are really, really cool. A little bit of extra damage every now and again certainly doesn't hurt. This is a problem. We can't get in there. So looking at this wand, I have a feeling that it's a no shuffle. 3 spells per cast, maybe. I don't think we can get in there though. Lightning bolt? Oh, good. There's the trap up there, but no, you're absolutely right. All right. Maybe. Yeah, come on. You guys are freaking geniuses, I tell you. There we go. Does the fireball really affect lightning bolt? Well, so technically yes. In reality, probably not, because nothing's going to be alive for it to be working on. As predicted, it is a no shuffle with 3 spells per cast. You've got a 0.18 cast delay. Fantastic. It's nice and quick on the shot. And a 3.23 second recharge time, which is... well, I don't need to tell you that. Pretty bad. Every other stat is great on this wand, except for that. Shame. It's not worth ditching what we currently have in favor of that. I think I know what that is. This guy's terrifying. Sir, I'd really appreciate it if you would leave me alone. But the bounce shots? So bounce shots, in my opinion, are amazing on the first couple of levels, or if you have the ability to pump them out super, super, super fast. Like, if you're filling the screen and you're not running out of mana, they're not bad. But they don't scale well either, unless you have like a ton of modifiers and a wand that can facilitate that. The damage is super low. They don't impact things. So for example, if I wanted to break some ice in the ice caverns, I'd have a very difficult time. It's impossible to do with bounce shots. Can't see a thing in here, so we're gonna keep moving. I'm not staying around here too long. Oh man, there's some scary enemies in there, huh? This is one of the benefits of carrying around a ton of TNT. You can kind of get around the level, which is quite nice. Look at me, I am the worm, etc. How do you gain sight in the temple? There's a few ways. So the all-seeing eye perk will do that. Drinking worm blood will do that temporarily. The all-seeing eye spell should work in the magical temple, but it doesn't work in the tree up in the first level. I don't know why. That might be a bug or intended, I'm not sure. Oh. Whenever you see a bunch of diamond like this, be very careful. It means that Uko was here. He may be dead, but unless we know for sure, proceed with caution. Uko being the Thunder Mage. One of the scariest enemies in the game. Krampus, nice. Dynamite. All right. So now we have a wand, which is, again, a tiny one. It is a no shuffle with reasonable stats, good speed. It does come with a projectile speed up, which is kind of nice. We don't necessarily need it right now, but it's good to know it's here. If we ever need to come back, we could potentially get that. What do you think, Alias? Should I grab it? I just don't know what to get rid of instead. Maybe this one then. I did want the extra spark bolts, but and the splitter. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Remember when taking on, when fighting robots, try to use explosives if you have them available. Because most other spells don't work very well against them. Oh, this wand I already know I like because it's one of my favorites. It is a shuffle wand with a single cast, and the stats are going to be really good on it. I just got to be careful here. Yep. This particular wand, one of my favorites in the game, usually has very good stats on it. It's always a shuffle wand unless you have the no shuffle perk. It's very fast. It has a lot of mana. The mana recovery is good. The spread is good. It is just a good wand. This particular one just happens to come with not only a formation spell or a multicast in the shape of a pentagon, but an add mana spell or modifier as well, or projectile modifier. So this reduces the cost of a cast by 30 mana. It does add a cast delay, so it slows down the wand a little bit, but I think you'll agree, mana being one of the most important attributes, that's not a hefty cost to pay. So I'm once again left with a dilemma. I need projectiles, right? So my primary wand is currently the damage dealer, which may change. I mean, we can't know what's coming up. But this one is way too good to leave behind. I could switch to lightning bolt. It's super dangerous though. You said it. You said it. Dump the first wand and run with the lightning bolt, and then kill myself trying to get down. Yeah, 100%. That's just the thing. I can picture that in my brain. That's exactly what's going to happen. Is anything spare or duplicated in your hotbar? Oh, right. Good call. Let's have a look. Not really. That's actually let me make note of that. That's one of my other rules, which I've never actually written into my script for the tips video I'm gonna make. But if you've got multiple of a particular thing, whether it's black holes or TNT or whatever, right? Don't use them all. There's no need, right? Going through a level, we don't need... How's my math today? 70 sticks of dynamite, right? No, most people won't. Clear the way with your damage wand, then go back for the wand. It still leaves us... I mean, good call, Simsky. That's a really good strat. But it still leaves us potentially vulnerable if there's nothing for sale and we can't, you know, get another safe projectile on the next floor. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Alright. We're not far from the exit, which is a good sign. Man, if only I had a return spell right now. Dynamite's going to be useless. It's my only digging method at the moment. Let's assume you're right. I hate it, but let's assume you're right. It's a good thing we didn't leave... Hey, that's a good start. Okay, I'm going to take that. Man, I wish I had a trigger spell right now. It's a good thing to demonstrate. Oh, that's a little bit more advanced, I think. So the problem with this is that it still explodes, so I do have to be careful. I'm not off the hook just yet. Alright, let's keep you, and you. Actually tempted to use that one. What's lightning bolt with speed up look like? Does that actually travel any further? It looks like it does. Yeah. Alright, so we got something going here. 1.3 seconds on the cooldown. We do a multicast, speed up. Just don't miss. Cast delay is quite massive, huh? Oh, each one of these adds 0.83 of a second. Maybe I only want a single here. Blocked by a few pixels of liquid. Well, we're electricity immune now, so it's less the. I'm worried a lot less about it. Pairing with oil might be good. I like that. That's just a good combo. So again, too risky to have on a fast shooter. Well, without the modifier. I'm gonna ditch these. I don't need them right now. And so we have nothing. I do have bombs. All right, we got bombs. That's nice. Gonna keep these. I'm gonna get rid of torch. I've got a teleport. I've got my multi. I've got oil. Personal fireball thrower can go. And I'll keep that just in case. Oh, he is very much a bot. You gave the wand with the spinning defensive spell to a homunculus. He started casting it onto enemies. Oh, as in the enemies had that effect, so they weren't getting hit. Oh boy. I do really like that spell. I just haven't found a good use for it. So after all of that, here's what we ended up with. We have a lightning bolt being thrown quite the distance thanks to speed up. So speed up generally, it sounds like it just increases the speed of a moving projectile, but since you're casting something that is kind of like an instant hit, it increases the distance. A little bit of an unwritten modifier there. And I've got bombs left over from early on in the run, since we got rid of all of our TNT on that last floor. Now, having the lightning bolt is a very, very terrifying prospect, except we are immune to electricity, so that's half the equation. The explosion damage is still very, very real and may end up doing us in, but at least the knock-on effect of everything being electrified and that kind of thing won't be a problem. In fact, we can stand in water now with this wand as well. You can see the word block appearing there because we're immune. So that's one other thing as well. If you do have any kind of electricity effect on a wand, if you jump in water, get out real quick. Once it starts sparking beyond the confines of the wand, that's dangerous. You'll get stun locked and zapped or drown or both, and it is not pretty. We're also not fire immune yet, which is something hopefully we can take care of soon. Please see the latest perk tier list video to see where fire immunity sits. Yep. Those poor fish up there. They did nothing wrong. I'm about to use all of my bombs. So, yeah. Oh gosh. Alright, so we're not going that way. Electricity is particularly good at taking out robotic enemies, which are quite susceptible to explosive damage. Yeah, very much at risk here. So because the electricity effect is doing 50 damage to them, but it doesn't look like the explosion yet. It has to hit direct for the explosion to actually work on robots. Whose idea was this again? Unless these guys just genuinely have like 150 health, which is also possible. Just trying to survive here. XPL you want to learn, but you don't want to get spoiled. I get that, and I understand. If you guts to go, you guts to go. Yeah, it's one of those games. Like I took the opinion early on because I saw a few people streaming it, and I was like, this game is there's too much for me to learn, and it was daunting for me. So I dealt with that fact pretty early on that I'm just going to have everything spoiled. And half the secrets in the game I would never have found on my own. The game certainly doesn't hold your hand. I like this wand a lot. No shuffle. 2 spells per cast. Good cast delay. Decent recharge time. Great mana. 480, which is currently that would be our maximum, and 150 on the charge speed for the mana as well. -1 degree spread. This is an excellent wand, and I'm going to take it. It will easily replace our primary wand, and you can tell because all of these numbers down here are red, which means this is better in every single way. Let's talk about for a second the spell that's on there. I think this has to be said. Giga Disc Projectile. One of, if not the most fun spells in the game. You will notice some of the flavor text mentions a curious flight pattern. Therein lies the problem. If you shoot this, most, if not all of the shots will come directly back at the player, whether you like it or not. It's a little bit wild. It kind of... you might be able to avoid it if you're lucky, but they also bounce as well. So avoiding that is very, very difficult. I wish I had a trigger spell. We'll get onto that in a later lesson. Because a trigger spell would enable us to cast that at distance. But even still, you're going to want some protection. So the best perks to go along with Giga Disc Projectile are homing and projectile repulsion fields. Even then, you're not completely safe. But yeah, we're going to be taking this one. I'm going to replace our number 4 wand for now, since this is still viable. Potentially. Long distance cast is like a trigger spell. And there's one in the shop. Oh, I saw that. Got it. 125 damage on the crit there. Certainly is powerful, I'll give it that. It's a shame that Lightning Bolt isn't more accurate. Like it's not bad, but at the same time, it's got a little bit of give on it. I don't want to be up here at all. Do we have a bomb left? I do. Well, I can already tell I don't want that wand. Let's have a look. Interesting. I take back what I just said. We have another no shuffle wand with great stats. Nice and quick. Recharge time's not too bad. 500 mana. 155 mana recovery. 4 capacity. -1 spread. It's even better than the one we just picked up. But the pièce de résistance on this particular wand is this right here. Quadruple spell. Simultaneously cast 4 spells at the same time. We may not end up using that, at least immediately. But it's a really, really handy thing to have. Let's take that with... Ooh, that was close. This is terrifying. Interesting one, to say the least. Amazing stats. It is a shuffle, unfortunately. Got 150 max mana, 740 on the mana charge speed, 7 capacity, -2 spread, and it is very, very fast. And it just so happens to come with a couple of really great little spells and spell modifiers. So yeah, we're definitely taking that. Part of me wanted to show off Gigadiscs, but at the same time, let's be real, that won't last very long. That's really good. So we need a larger capacity no shuffle right now. We've got a trigger, kind of. It's an expensive one that shouldn't matter too much on this wand. We've got damage fields, mana reduce. Yeah. Fire 1 Gigadisc and drop it. I hate you. I can't see here. Oh jeez. And this is what happens when you leave wands in the hands of people without wand licenses. He killed himself, it's fine. Alright, now we can go. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a good demonstration of Gigadisc and how not to get killed by it. I got 1,500 bucks, that's not awful. My exit's kind of blocked here. I wonder if that fire will burn enough to... Oh, we got a turret here as well. See if we can get this down there. Damn it. $313 crit on that guy. It looked like an electrocution, not a direct explosion hit. I got 58 health. Let's call it. Oh man, great spells here. The first thing I'm gonna do is spend 200 to reroll these perks. Please hold. Okay, let's see what we can do first before I do much else. So we can use the energy sphere with timer as a trigger spell. So the way this works, there's two types of trigger spells. We have, like this one up here, Firebolt with trigger. On impact with a wall or an enemy, whatever is following this spell will get cast. So, for example, if we put it here and we cast that, at point of impact, it casts the second spell in that list. And this is where no shuffle spells kind of come into their own. We're not going to be using that one though, just because this is a finite quantity, and I think it's more important to have something a little bit more reliable. Now, energy sphere with timer. So this is quite a slow-moving projectile. It sort of flies in an arc, and the same rules for triggering apply, except there's an added timer on there as well. So it's whenever it hits something, or after a certain time, it's actually flying too far for us to even see that. But trust me, it works. So that's pretty good, a pretty good one in you know, a pretty good stand-in for a regular trigger spell. Okay, the fish had it coming, okay. I'm going to use this wand here. This is the really, really fast one that I was impressed with before. Telekinetic kick for demonstration. Oh, I hate it. I hate it. All right, so this is the one that I was impressed with before. It's the one with really great stats. It is kind of small, but that's okay. We can still work with that. I'm just trying to figure out what would be the best use of it right now. Speed up on this one, you think? So we could actually do that. We could put damage fields, speed up on this, and straight away that's pretty great already. So what damage field does, it creates a small barrier. Let me take speed up off just so we can demonstrate this. A small barrier around a projectile. You can see it in purple there on the screen. It does very, very rapid damage. It's low damage, but it hits very quickly. It deals 3.5 damage per tick, and it ticks ultra fast. So it can be really, really good for taking things out. Could use it on the quick shuffle wand, and shuffle wouldn't mess with it. On this one? Or this one? Right. So looking up here, you can see the order in which things are shot. No, occasionally it doesn't pick it up. So the way shuffle works with this particular wand, right? Interestingly, it's a 2 spell per cast, so it should be picking it up. Let's pretend this was 1 spell per cast. It would go down the list of spells in the wand, in which case it's got 2 to choose from, and it either goes this one and then the other, or the other way around, but it should be picking up both here, but it's not for some reason. Maybe because it's a timer spell. Like a trigger, maybe. Yeah, I think that's it. So because there's an expectation with that particular spell of something to follow, I think that's what's throwing it off. Yeah. So I think for now, let's leave it on this one. It shuffles the modifier behind the spell. You are correct. Yep. And then because there's... Yep. Okay. So it technically is working as intended, but we need it to hit every time. So we're going to add speed up because this guy being in an arc, we want it to hit kind of directly. And then what I'd like for that to happen, or once this spell expires, is to then cast something else that does massive amounts of damage. The only thing we've got that fits that bill... Lightning bolt. So this is kind of risky because depending on the angle it hits a surface or when the spell runs out, this lightning bolt could bounce back and hit us. It's unlikely, but well, let me take that back. No, I think that's a mistake. Yeah, even with the amount of time that I put into this game, there's still something new I'm learning every day. What we could do is add a third modifier to that, though. Electric charge. So this does an extra 3 damage per shot. What about a fast hollow egg? Hey, Hobo, how you doing? So that should hit pretty hard, I think. Have I rolled the perks? No. Homing would solve all the problems, wouldn't it though? Low recoil. Recoil caused by your spells is greatly reduced, but your spells fly slightly slower. Interesting. What we're going to do here is pick up extra wand capacity. So this perk modifies all of the ones that you're currently holding to increase their capacity up to an extra 3 to a maximum of 25. So yeah, that's worth having. Look at that. All right, we're doing great things here. I wonder if I should add something else to that. What about energy orb on top of it? Hey, Lord Aegis, how you doing? Oh, I was wondering that myself, what the green border meant. Yeah, that's a really good observation. Well, I mean, energy orb straight away is a great digging tool. This one's really expensive to cast, though. What is it, 50, I think? It's only 370 bucks, though. Would wrapping oil be good here? Capacity's not too low. But it's... we're going to run out of... This is a finite quantity. It's not. I thought it was. We could just add it to the wand and it'll work. And that doesn't put oil anywhere near me as well, so that's kind of good. Blood is the finite one. How interesting. I had no idea that this was unlimited. So what we're going to do here is add oil, which is a material type, to the end of this wand. Fortunately, it's going to be cast far, far away from us, so there's no risk of us getting oil, or at least, you know, in the short term, no risk of us getting oil on us and potentially being caught on fire. That's pretty cool, actually. Got it. Got it. Understood. What else can we do here, then? I don't think it's possible to wrap the material. So right now we have a shooter that is slowly running out of mana, but it catches up nice and quick. Could I make the oil catch fire? Maybe. I'd have to lose something here. No, I don't believe I can. Not easily. A mana modifier? It's not worth the extra cast delay. Not yet. Not yet. Now it's too fast. Interesting. You put it at the front and it behaves differently than if you put it at the end. Alright, so what we can do then, 1 mana modifier, and then a spark bolt at the end, question mark? Or another one of those. That's way too heavy, huh? Yeah. Because this costs 50 to cast. still angle shots. I mean, this is only going to do small damage, so it's not that effective. And then this one here was the other one we were potentially looking at. I wonder what that looks like with fast shots. It's not horrible. What if we take that off? Take that off now. I can handle that. So this is 11 damage plus a small explosion. This is 10 damage. Plus this one has a cast delay. Oh, that has even bigger cast delay. And it will dig as well, yeah. Is there anything else we can add to it that might increase it somehow? Burst of air, 5 mana, 6 damage. Is that useful? It can't hurt me, so that's good. Nice start. I think I'll just keep it like that. Keep it simple. I'm going to keep a few of these, and now I have to start getting rid of some stuff here as well. Remember, golden rule, make sure you've got enough capacity to actually pick something up if you want. What if we put it, I'm just going to play around with this. A little bit of a teleport on the end. Good idea or not? No, not a good idea. If I put the mana after the trigger, you don't suffer the cast delay. And we're topped up on mana. Nice work, Alias. Nice work. Okay, so I'm going to keep both of those. I'm going to keep that. We'll potentially lose that. I do not need 2 of these. And I'll probably ditch that as well. Keep the quad. How costly would quad casting it be? Wouldn't work. So we would need a wand that casts 4 simultaneously, or have 4 spells to cast. This doesn't, it says quadruple spell, but it doesn't increase the number of projectiles. It casts more of the projectiles that are on your wand at the same time. And we've only got 1 on there. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that, and then we'll recharge that. Okay. I think that's fair. Why would it not add the cast delay? I mean, this is a good question. That's an advanced question, I think. Because it's after the projectile is already expired. So we still get the benefits of the extra mana or the reduced mana cost. I'm not sure. It works though. It's good. We are heading down into the jungle. So the jungle is where we start to find ones that are a little bit better. We have no method of digging down. So, yeah. Let's give it a shot. It's not the wand casting the spell. The damage is okay. It's not sustained, which is a problem. And that's so that One thing I didn't take into consideration is the fact that this particular projectile knocks things out of the way. And that's the real test on a spider. Not doing much damage there at all. Interesting. Even electricity's not doing that much. Ow. I am stuck in the ground. Instant wand regret? I mean... I can make it work, but it's going to be a slog to get through this floor. We're not going to be face rolling here. Always cast Matter Eater. One of my favorite combinations, and so rare. So we're just going to take this slow. Some of the enemies that can come up in here are pretty devastating. So this is kind of a good thing to have at all times. It's pretty amazing. It is a damage modifier, which adds 44 damage. It does also decrease the speed of projectiles, so it might not work on our current wand, but what we can do is transfer that damage using a trigger spell if we get lucky here. As for the wand itself, great speed, amazing maximum mana, but we've got a recovery of 41, which at this point in the game just doesn't cut it. So we're going to take it because I really want that modifier, but the wand itself, eh. He must have been injured already. He was carrying a ton of cash. Maybe he was on the way to the bank. Now we're getting somewhere. Here we go. No shuffle. 3 spells per cast. Decent cast delay, decent recharge time, good maximum mana, and mana charge speed. 7 capacity with a 2 degree of spread. We got a couple of pentagram shots in there as well. And I don't even mind fireworks. They're pretty good too. Good for cutting holes in things. Oops. Hey Pikes, how are you this evening? So this is an always cast. People often wonder how I can tell what an always cast looks like ahead of time. It's because it has a very faint blue glow. We're going to take out these dudes. I'm not... Ugh. Oh, now I finally worked out what he's doing. Okay. My health at the moment is drastically reduced. Heartache, that's called. Your maximum health is temporarily halved. And somebody took the one that was here. Bummer. Where did it go? spider spawner. Where did it go? There was one right there, right? Like, I'm not making that up. Got another one top left. Was it the Heartbreak guy? It was the Heartbreak guy, probably. I thought we killed him. So I can immediately tell that this one's not really going to be suitable just because it's got a maximum mana capacity of 70. So no matter what other stats this has, that kind of makes it not good. And I don't need this particular spell right now. Gonna leave that one behind. So, I didn't see you either. Gonna dig through here. So I believe this particular wand is a shuffle wand. Single cast. Good capacity on it though. Shuffle, 1 spell per cast. Cast delay, quite good. Great stats, actually, and 14 capacity. This particular explosive is excellent. It's one of my favorite spells in the game for digging through stuff. So what I'm going to do, this is stupid. This is high risk, but I'm going to swap out my regular bombs for this wand here. It's a better wand all around. It has better spells. The one thing that I'm worried about is potentially, if I was to use it right now, casting in that pentagram formation, which is a big mistake. Lots of cash. Let's see if we can do it. There you go. If I was in enclosed quarters right there without explosion immunity, yeah, I'm pretty much dead. That is a fast-moving spider on the other side of that wall. I might start heading out, actually. This is... yeah, we're in a bit of a disadvantage here with this wand. I thought it was going to be so much better than it was. Maybe I should have used the training dummies before leaving. Hey. Uh-oh. One more hit and I'm done for. Oh, he's still coming too. Oh Lord, he coming. We gotta go. We gotta go right now. Not that way though. Flamoxium got me at the end of the day. Boy, oh boy. Well, I mean, you know what? It was worth a shot. Hopefully, that's been somewhat helpful to get sort of an insight into the mind of McQueeb and his wand selection. We'll just have to make another video. Simple as that. Piece of cake. Flamoxium reverses your left and right keys on the keyboard. I can normally handle it. I panicked there. Yeah. I'm gonna switch it up tonight. So I'm gonna stop my recording here of this, and I'm gonna play a little bit of Demon's Souls. Because I said I wasn't gonna play this on stream because it's a personal game to me. But